Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon or good evening. And today I appreciate for this opportunity to present about Japanese activity. Actually, last week there was a large conference in Malaysia about environmental issues. And in that conference, there was a workshop of carbon footprinting, where Taiwan, Korea, Japan, and Thailand made a presentation of their own activities. I hope next year in this Berlin or Zurich, those Asian countries will make a presentation, as well as in Japan. So anyway, today I'd like to talk about Type 3 labeling and national pilot project of carbon footprint. And this is a timeline of activities. There are two activities independently each other. At first, I would like to talk about EcoReef label. This program, previous to this program, in year of 2000, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry launched the feasibility study of Type 3 environmental label program. And after that feasibility study, GEMI, a private company, my association, launched the EcoReef program. And now we are in 8th year, and based on this experience of Type 3 environmental label, Japanese government launched a pilot project of carbon footprint. So at first, I would like to talk about the general overview of EcoReef focusing on PCR aspects. And after that, I would like to talk about the general overview of carbon footprint. This is summary of EcoReef label. This EcoReef program belonging to ISO classification of Type 3. And of course, this label showing the quantitative LCA result of each product. And our program offering easy calculation using generic data. And of course, this is based on PCR approach. And now we have 968 labels in cumulative number. And 67 PCR has established already. And now I'd like to talk about the general principle of ISO 40025. So at first, in ordinary LCA scheme, please let me say in-house LCA scheme, each company conducting the life cycle assessment based on including the goal and scope definition based on their own purpose of evaluation of eco-design and conducting LCI and LCIA and interpretation. And if necessary, those results was summarized as LCA report and critical review. And this in-house LCA scheme is conducted within a company. And because of that, the resulting value of result is totally different from each companies. The meaning of the value is different. And this is not so good information for ordinary consumers on the context of data comparison. And that's why Type 3 labeling program adopted the PCR approach. In this scheme, at first, the former part of life cycle assessment is conducting as a PCR methodology. Goal and scope and other definition was established as a PCR working group activity on the basis of consensus building in the various companies in the same business field. And after that, after the establishment of PCR, each company conducting their own calculation based on PCR, and the interpretation is done by user. So this is a Type 3 scheme, and we can say that this is a little bit more transparent manner. And I would like to check the contents of PCR. In ISO 40040, there is a section of the scope, and there are so many kinds of components to be decided as a framework of life cycle assessment. And as you can see, many components are corresponding to the PCR in type 3 or eco-leaf level. So since that ISO 40025 calculation methodology is based on 40040, we have to decide those parameters, and in eco-leaf level, many of the parameters are decided in a PCR, and that's why PCR approach is very important in type 3 level program. And I'd like you to have some image of Japanese working group activity. I would like to talk about two examples. At first, PCR working group activity is a kind of consensus building. And consensus building of two aspects. The first one is consensus among the companies in the same business field. Here, this is an example of this consensus. Please let me think about the products of paper carton and metal can. And if we include both of them into one PCR, namely PCR of beverage container, probably we have to think about data comparison of both of these two products. And in many cases, Japanese company doesn't want to have this kind of situation. Within the PCR, we have to think about the difference of function and the difference of environmental burden between the paper carton and metal can. And this is very difficult situation, and Japanese company tends to avoid this kind of one broad PCR definition. Anyway, each working groups have to make a consensus building regarding this kind of PCR target definition. And another consensus have to establish between working groups and the PCR review committee. And the example of this consensus is boundary of primary data collection. Generally speaking, Japanese companies tends to have narrow area of primary data collection because, as you know, the primary data collection in upstream company is relatively difficult. And at the same time, the narrow area of primary data collection results in the lower data quality in most cases. And in this case, consensus have to establish between the working groups and the review committee. So this kind of consensus building is the main issue of PCR working groups activity. And I also mentioned about GetNet as activity of type 3 level. GetNet stands for the Global Environmental Declaration Network, and this is founded in 1999. And this organization consisting of several program holders, including EDF, Chinese Taipei, and China, and European countries, and Japan, Korea. And please visit this website of GetNet, and you can connect to the PCR library. In this year, this PCR library is managed by Japanese government. And you can see more than 90 PCRs in this PCR library. And now I talked about the general overview of eco-leaf regarding PCR activity. And from now, I would like to talk about the national pilot project of carbon footprint. Based on the experience of Type 3, Ministry of METI launched the preliminary feasibility study in 2008. And after that, the government decided to launch the national pilot project for 3 years from 2009. And we are now in middle year. And in fiscal year of 2008, around 30 Japanese companies joined these activities. And they calculated their own products resulting in the PCF. And they show their own PCF numeric data on the exhibition. And in this year, company calculated their own PCF without PCRs. Just calculation and the result was verified by secretariat of this project. And through this activity, most of these companies want to have PCR working opportunities. They want to have a kind of opportunity of consensus building in order to keep go ahead. And they don't want to go ahead alone. And that's why Japanese government decided to have a PCR approach. And this figure showing the total structure of Japanese PCR approach. The starting point is ISO 40040 LCA principle and ISO 40025 type 3. And based on this ISO standard, the government established the two important guidelines of the program, basic guideline and PCR establishment guideline at the end of fiscal year of 2008. And based on these guidelines, PCRs are established. And this figure showing the number of registered PCR drafting plan. As you can see, in the field of fabricated material or foodstuff or daily commodity, many PCR development plan was registered. And I'd like to say that in most of the registration, industry association registered for each product categories, which means the resulting working group activity is conducted in very comprehensive manner. So anyway, these are results of fiscal year of 2009. 42 PCRs have been established, and 94 products are approved for carbon footprint. And there are several kinds of examples. And I would like to talk about a little bit more about the dissemination activity. And this sheet showing the eco-products exhibition held in Tokyo in the winter of 2009. There is one very large exhibition of eco-products in Tokyo each year. And in 2009, the government organizing one booth to showing the activity of carbon footprint project. And those booths consisting of 3 parts, where visitors can have some image of daily life surrounded by carbon footprint products, namely at home or at office or at school. And another dissemination activity, the target is school. And in this fiscal year, the Secretariat has several kinds of opportunity to present PCF activity in junior high school or high school. And another target is teacher of carbon footprint. So we have to develop any scheme in order to have a good teacher to disseminate this kind of PCF activity to ordinary consumers or students. So we are planning to this kind of seminar to develop a good teacher. And finally, I would like to summarize the future plan and the current hot topics of Japanese National Pilot Project. So one of the important things is how to establish a verification scheme in this National Pilot Project. And now we are ongoing about several kinds of verification schemes. And we will compare the difference among several kinds of schemes. And also, we have activity of wide range of PCRs. This is just experimentation, but probably we will have some result of wide range PCRs. Right now, there are two wide range PCRs established. The first one is energy using products PCR, and another one is non-energy using products PCR. And based on that, we will have several verification, and probably wide range PCR regarding these PCRs verification much more time consuming in comparison with ordinary PCR. So anyway, now we are investigating about the effect of wide range PCRs. And also we will have an eco-products exhibition in this coming December, and we will make a presentation about this activity. So this is all I would like to talk today. Thank you for your attention.